everybody, welcome back to my channel. Oh, my hair's doing some funky things today. Sorry. Yeah, it's gonna bug me now until I do this. There we go. Sorta. Let's see. There we go. I finished 4 books this week. I can't remember if I talked about the one last week, A Woman Alone by Nina Lauren, because I remember finishing it on Monday, but I can't remember if I had done my wrap up for it. So, yeah, 3 of these were pretty much finished in the last 3 days because this week has been mental again. Hopefully, or last week was mental. This week, I should be only having to do something today. And then, yeah, because next weekend is Thanksgiving, not the coming one this weekend, but next weekend is Thanksgiving, and then a weekend after I have something to do. And whenever I get notified that my machine is in, I will go and pick it up. However, this week I finished 4 books. This one on Monday, and then nothing again until this weekend, because it's been so crazy that I have not felt like really picking up anything. So, the first one I finished was A Woman Alone by Nina Lauren. I tried to lower the brightness so you can see it a little bit better. This is Stepford Wives meets Girl on the Train, sorta. It's about a family who moves into this smart home, and it's a gated community of smart homes. And things start happening in the home, like the computer starts calling her by a different name. They are supposed to be the only family who has moved into this house. So why is this computer calling her a different name? A different coffee is being made. Things like that, like the car going spastic. Radio's being turned on full blast when she wants nothing to do with the radio. Stuff like that. And then her husband was saying, you know, you're losing it. Nothing, it's not happening. We're the first people who moved into this house. Kind of that deal. You kind of wonder if she's losing it or not, just as things go on. I did give it a 4. However, everybody in this story is unlikable, and everybody keeps secrets. Yeah. It was good, though. So that's all I'm going to say about that one. Because I went in pretty much not knowing much about it, and I'm glad I did. So the next book I finished was Good Bones by Kim Fielding. It is Bones #1 in the series, and it's male-male romance. It's also werewolf romance. What is his name? Dylan and Chris, I think. Yeah. Dylan is a architect, and once a month he turns into a werewolf. One time he almost got somebody almost got hurt. So he decides that he's getting too close to getting home for when he needs to change, and he's got a reinforced room so that he stays in for the 24 hours. Or the evening, sorry. So he decides to build or buy a house in the boonies so that he can have, like, work from home, be by himself. And then he meets his neighbor, Chris. And something clicks between them. But he has this massive secret that he's a werewolf. And everybody thinks, well, that Chris is just a dumb hick. And he kind of portrays that sometimes, which irked me during the book, that Chris was always playing the hick and then getting pissed off when people believed it. So, yeah. But there was love, but a lot lust. Now, there was one disgusting sex scene. The sex scenes are pretty graphic. And I don't mean it was disgusting graphic-wise. It was just something that happened grossed me out. Personally, grossed me out. Because that's not something that's... Oh, never mind. It's... They are graphic scenes, and that doesn't bother me. It was this one instance that something that happened grossed me out. Enough said. But I did like it. I enjoyed it. It was a quick read. It's like 200 pages, I think. 202 pages, and I read it on Hoopla, I think. Yeah, Hoopla. Oops. So, there's that. And I gave it 4 stars. Then I finished Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This one kind of, it was good. I gave it, all these books this week were 4-star reads, so that was good. However, she micromanaged her sister's life so much that it irritated me to no end. She was constantly, like, their parent, they never knew their dad. Her and her sister Libby, Nora and her sister Libby, never knew their dad. So their mom was a single mom, and she died when, I think Nora was 16, Libby was 12, I think. So Nora took on the mother role of Libby. Okay, so I can understand that. But she felt guilty that she wanted a life or chose parts of her life to live. So she always lived her life according to what Libby needed. Libby is now married with 2 kids and 1 on the way. She does not need a mother anymore. I mean, she does, but she doesn't need her sister to be her mother. And everything Nora did was for Libby, which, you know, it's okay, but when you're making life decisions for yourself based on what your adult sister needs in life, no. So her sister started keeping secrets from her, and they decided to go on this one trip because she's an editor. No, she's not. She's an agent for writers, and then Charlie is an editor. So they had met at the beginning of the book and gave off bad first impressions, so they hadn't really spoken in 2 years, and then it fast forwards to 2 years later. And Libby wants to take this one trip to this place that exists called Sunshine Falls. And it is based on a novel by the author that she is the agent to. And they find that it's a decrepit town. And the book had made it sound like such a wonderful place to live. So they decided that for a month they were going to stay there, and they have a list of things to do. Well, then it comes to find out Charlie's there as well. No, it has nothing to do with the book. It has the fact to do with that's Charlie's hometown. And then the story kind of goes on from there of how it's, I wouldn't say hate to love. They just got off on a rocky start. But their banter together was great. I loved their banter. Aside from the fact that she was constantly trying to micromanage her sister's life, was the irritating part. I mean, things happen, and more stuff is revealed as you go on, but that micromanaging it drove me nuts. If my sister, I have 2 older sisters. I'm the baby. If the middle sister tried to micromanage my life, I would be spitting mad. Yeah, that would not work. My older sister, the oldest one, would never even dream of doing something like that at all. So, yeah, that would drive me snaky. So, yeah, 4 stars. And then the last book I just finished just now was The Toll by Neil Shusterman, because it has to go back to the library. This is book 3 in the Arc of a Scythe book, and for the first 200 pages, it was kind of disconcerting because you never really knew what time period you're reading in until you get to know the characters in those time periods. Because it takes place, I think, over 3 years, but it starts directly after the happenings of book 2. So it had been some time between reading that and this. But I quickly came into it, so you kind of learn more of the history of the Scythedom and how things came to power, why things were in place, And I did not really see the ending coming. Like, I was actually kind of like, they give you snippets here and there. Um, and, but it's kind of built on. Like, you never really know what's coming until it's on top of you. So yeah, I did not see it coming. It from the start of the series till now. Wow, what a growth period. Not so much a growth period character wise, well, character wise too, but growth period, and so much stuff happens in those 3 years. It's wow. So 4 stars. Only because it took so long to figure out which time period, and you're kind of going back and forth. And but yeah, it was the last 400 pages I read in 2 days. So that tells you, how fast it goes. So what I'm going to be reading, or what I'm currently reading, is, of course, Throne of Glass. I have not picked it up since, because I've been trying to work on library books that are due and life. So this, I should be able to concentrate on this now once these next 2 books are done. So the other one that I started was Father Takes a Wife by Ginger Chambers. I only read the first chapter, and it's about a man who has just recently married a woman, and they go and pick up his daughter. His daughter wants to live with him. Doesn't really give 2 bleeps about the new wife. She's never met her. It's like a whirlwind. They met, and 6 months later they're married. Something has happened to his first wife. Don't know yet. And his daughter is living with her parents. And they do not want him to have custody of the daughter. There's some issues that it's a very toxic, like, they're blaming him for whatever happened to their daughter. They're giving like supervised custody or supervised visits with the daughter. It's very weird. It's very toxic. And you could tell it was a toxic relationship between them and their daughter. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But yeah, so I did make some changes with my TBR because time constraints, finding out that some of the books that I had picked were part of series that were halfway in the series. And they were series that you kind of have to read in order. So those are the 2 that I'm currently reading. The 2 that I will be picking up, of course, Stealing Infinity by Alison Noel. Time travel. As soon as I finish Throne of Glass, I will be picking this up. And then the last one for my Triple RC challenge is Lovestorm by Joanna Ross. Hopefully this is not part of the series. Don't really know. I just picked it because the person is single at the beginning of the book. Yeah, because they're already married. So, ex-cop, loner, walking wounded. He lived by 3 simple rules. Never get involved, never play the hero, never ever fall in love. His name is Saxon Carstairs. Sax's isolation was shattered when the gorgeous, mysterious Madeline washed up half dead on his storm-swept beach. So I think this is like what Intrigue used to be. Don't quote me on that one. So I'm also going to pick up, because they're due at the library as well, Madeline Martin's The Librarian Spy. And this is about 2 women who do secret codes during World War II. I think it's World War II. Pretty sure it's World War II. And then Shirley Russo Murphy's Cat Under Fire. It's book 2 in the Joe Gray mystery. It's a cat who can actually talk to people. So, can't be renewed again, so I have to read that. And then after that, I will do my October TBR, hopefully tomorrow. Can't guarantee today, because weather, children, whatever. Yeah, so I know I said I was going to do a Friday reads last week. Friday was crazy. Like, absolutely crazy nonstop from 8:30 in the morning till 5 o'clock that night. Just crazy. So I was not able to do a Friday reads. And then Saturday was just It was a wash. So, sorry, itchy nose. What I was going to say was I am now on Ozempic. I'm on the lowest dose of Ozempic. I lost in the first week 1.6 pounds, I think. Something like that. 1.4, 1.6 pounds last week. That could be just water weight. From what I know, the lowest dose of Ozempic is just getting your body used to stuff. And then once you start titrating up to the higher doses, that's when things start happening. So, if you don't know what Ozempic is, it is a medication for diabetics, type 2 specifically. I don't think you can be on it in type 1. It's a once a week injection, and what it does is regulate your blood sugar. Now, that is what I've been taking it for, because I know my blood sugars have been all scattered. I can definitely feel that part's working because I now have energy again. When my blood sugars are too high, then I have no energy. I'm exhausted. I'm fatigued. And the only reason I know that is because when I was pregnant with my daughter, I was gestational diabetic. And when my blood sugars were regular, I had so much energy. I dropped so much weight while I was pregnant with her. The doctor didn't have a problem with it because I had so much weight on my body that whatever I lost, she gained. So I never had to wear maternity clothes because I fit in my clothes for the whole entire pregnancy. And so what had happened there was I had lost 16 pounds while I was pregnant with her. And then when I had her, the day after, I was 14 pounds lighter because she was close to 9 pounds when she was born, plus all the water. So I had essentially lost 30 pounds while I was pregnant with my daughter. Because of that rapid weight loss, I ended up losing my gallbladder 9 months later. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. So I think I now have energy. Like one night I only had 2 hours of sleep sometime this week or last week. I still had energy during the day. That is so unusual for me in the last couple of years. So yay for regulated blood sugar. And one of the other side effects of this medication is to help you lose weight. So without having to do surgery. If this does not work, then I will have to do the surgery route because I really do not want to turn into a type 1 diabetic. And I'm already having nerve issues with my feet. So that kind of fast-paced me choosing the shots. And they really don't hurt. You don't feel them at all. So that is my update. I take my shots every Friday night because I heard if you take them at night, the side effects during the next 8 hours are while you're sleeping. And I really have not had any side effects. Most people get nauseous. They get the fatigue, surprisingly. Because a lot of these people are not taking it for the blood sugar regulation. They don't have diabetes. They're just being given this medication to lose weight. So I think that might be why some people have more side effects than others, because I've had none. TMI, a little bit of diarrhea. And that's kind of normal for me because ever since I lost my gallbladder, that's never been an issue. I've never had issues with that. So most people get constipation. Not for me. That could, however, change different doses. For right now, it's not. Some people get headaches. I suffer from migraines, so I was noticing that I do get a mild headache. Mild. I will take that over a migraine any day. And I do find the odd time that I'm nauseous, but that to me is when I'm starting to get hungry. Now, it's also supposed to suppress my appetite, so it did a little bit. Like I said, this is the first and the lowest dose. So after 2 more weeks, I go up to the next dose. So we will see what happens then, and we'll keep you posted. So yeah, that is my update for this week. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and I will see you later. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.